Journaling truly can be life-changing, and I know that is a big claim to make, but there is actually research backing me up on this claim. If you're not putting a time on your goal, it's basically just a dream. Can improve the quality of life within just 7 days. While preparing for this video and the blog post, I actually remembered that I had this. Hi and welcome. So today I want to talk about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. Journaling. So journaling truly can be life-changing, and I know that is a big claim to make, but there is actually research backing me up on this claim. So I already wrote a blog post on the topic, and if you want to see the research that I refer to, go read that blog post. It is in the description box down below. And I will have all of the research linked in that post. But for today's video, how can journaling be life-changing? There are actually a few different kinds of journaling that I'd like to talk about in today's video. First, there is the diary type of journaling. Then we have reflective journaling, stream of consciousness journaling, gratitude journaling, and then goal setting. And honestly, you can use all of them of a couple of different things together, which is why this is so nice and why you can completely personalize it to fit you. So for today's first kind of journaling, I want to talk about the diary. Basically, whatever people first think of when they think of journaling. So the diary style of journaling is typically what people start with when they start a journal, and it's ideal for documenting memories. It's also a type of journaling that can be really helpful to help you process events and memories associated with those. And it can help you learn to recognize patterns in your life, in your day, in your emotions, in your thoughts. And by learning to recognize those, it does help with self-awareness. So to start with this type of journaling, pretty much what you're gonna do is you will write down the date, maybe the time if that's something that's interesting to you, and you will start to write about your day. So what happened, you could use some emotion in it. What did you feel? How was it for you? What was your experience? This style of journaling is very experience based. So what happened and how was that for you? So this is a style of journaling that I've been doing for years. Honestly, since I can remember. And from this, for me, all of those other types of journaling have evolved. Just do what works for you, and you can experiment with it. You can just try something out. If it doesn't work, you stop doing it. If it does work, keep going. And from that, just evolve. So then I wanted to talk to you about reflective journaling. This is a type of journaling that has quite a bit of research to back it up. Reflective journaling, like the name already suggests, focuses on reflecting, and it's definitely a skill that you can build over time. Practice makes perfect, just like with pretty much anything. And this type of journaling will focus on why things happened the way that they did, and then how you can influence them in the future. This is a great form of journaling for personal development, to learn about yourself, and it's also really good to help you to better your critical thinking. So to do this kind of journaling, what you're gonna do is first you just write down what happened. What's the situation that you're gonna want to analyze, that you want to write about? And then you're gonna think about why something happened the way that it did. So why did the situation go the way that it did? And why did you react to it the way that you did? You're gonna think about what could I have done differently in this situation? And also, why should I have done something differently? And you're not just focusing on what could have been different, you're also going to focus on what you did well in this situation. So what did you do well? And why did you do that well? Why did that work in this situation? And why could it work in a similar situation next time? And then to end it all with, what could you do different if you were to get in a similar situation next time? So how could you make sure that next time you're going to handle the situation in a better way than you did right now? And that's not to say that you handled it badly this time. It's just that you're growing and that you're gonna want to do better next time. Okay, so stream of consciousness journaling. In this type of journaling, you're just writing down whatever comes to mind. You might have heard it referred to as a brain dump. The most important thing about this is that you're not thinking about anything you put down on your paper, which actually makes it really interesting to read back, and it gives you a little bit of an insight in how your mind works, in how your thought process goes. This is a really nice way of journaling to process your emotions, and it can also be really helpful when you're stuck in a situation in any way, shape or form, really. So I really recommend you trying this type of journaling and give it a few goes. Don't just try it once and then say that it's not for you. It's really something that will grow on you when you practice it a little bit more often. It can be really nice to do at night before you go to sleep, to empty your mind and get it to calm down. And pretty much just anything that's floating around in there, get it on paper. You know that it's there the next morning if you need it, and you don't have to think about it anymore, which is so nice. And doing this, I mean, I have had several times the sentence, I don't know what to write in my journal when practicing stream of consciousness journaling, and that's okay too. At some point there will be a thought that's going to click and you will put that down. The important thing is to just keep writing. Even if there's nothing interesting going on, just keep writing. And actually pretty good ideas can come from this. The name of my brand, Bridge of Life Studio, actually came through stream of consciousness journaling. And even just the thing of putting your thoughts onto paper can be really helpful to give you some insight as well as to see it on paper. It makes it a lot more tangible than when it's just floating around in your head. So another type of journaling would be the gratitude journal, which is probably something that you've heard about before. This is actually also a type of journaling that has quite a bit of research behind it. So gratitude journaling is really powerful for your mental health. It's proven that it does have a positive effect on your outlook on life, and it can definitely reduce stress quite a bit. There is a study that has shown that gratitude journaling can improve the quality of life within just 7 days. So this means 7 days of doing the practice of gratitude journaling every single day, at least once a day. What you're doing with this type of journaling is basically just writing down a list of things that you are grateful for. With this type of journaling, you can go as much in depth as you like. Personally, I think going more into why you're grateful for something and more describing the entire situation about it, your feeling about it, can definitely help, since this is a practice focusing on the positive side of things. So the more you're going into that feeling, why you're feeling it and what influences it, can definitely help in the future to recall that feeling and make it stronger. So that's the gratitude journal for you. And then last but certainly not least, goal setting. What I think is really nice about using journaling to set your goals is the fact that you're going to write them down, which is a way of helping you to keep accountable for those. Another nice thing about actually writing down your goals is that you can visually see them, which then can help you to break those down a little bit more, which does help to make them feel a little bit more manageable. So when you're going to use journaling to help you set your goals, what's really important to do is to start with where you are right now. So what's the situation right now? Where are you regarding to this goal that you set for yourself? And then where do you want to be? So what's the actual goal? What do you want to reach? Where do you want to be in X amount of time? And then also, why do you want to be there? Your why is going to be really powerful in helping you to keep going to reach that goal. So this is definitely something that you want to keep in mind, and preferably write down in that journal. Why do you want to reach this goal? Why is it important to you? What's it going to help you with? What's the feeling going to be when you reach that goal? So when you wrote those things down, you're gonna want to formulate the actual goal. When you write that goal down, you're gonna want to make sure that you are doing that SMART, which stands for specific, measurable, acceptable, realistic, and time sensitive. Making your goal specific is going to help you to have an actual vision in mind of what it is that you want to reach. Getting more healthy isn't really going to get you anywhere. Going to the gym X amount of times every week, that is specific. That's something that you can also measure, which brings us into the second thing, which is measurable. It's going to help you if you can somehow tie in a number into your goal. So keeping with the gym example, going to the gym more often isn't measurable. What is more often? When did you reach that goal? Do you reach it when you go once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week? Then it also needs to be acceptable. Not just for you, but also if there's more people involved in this goal, it needs to be acceptable for all of them. And one that I actually like to use in the A part of the SMART goal is actually accountable. So maybe you want to share it somehow to keep you accountable, but also just writing it down. So using this as a journaling practice, which is what we're talking about, is going to help you to keep accountable. And then it also needs to be realistic. So it needs to be something that you can actually reach. If you're not going to be able to reach the goal at all, it's only going to get you down. So make sure that it's a realistic goal to reach within the time that you set. Which brings us to the next part of this goal setting, and it's time sensitivity. You want to formulate your goal so that it is time sensitive. Why do you want to do this? Because if you're not putting a time on your goal, it's basically just a dream. If you don't put a time on something, you can take forever and ever and ever and ever to reach that, and it's not going to make you want to work for it. So putting that time frame on your goal is what is going to make it a goal. So then when you formulated that goal of yours, you're gonna want to reflect on it regularly. And that's also what's going to keep you accountable, and in part what's going to help you to want to keep going. And this is also where that first reflection on where you are right now is going to come in really handy. By comparing that to where you are at the time of your reflection, you can actually see the growth that you've gone through and the progress that you've been making on your goal. That way you can see what there still needs to happen and everything that you've already reached within that goal. So in my blog post, I also write a little bit more about splitting up your goal in multiple smaller goals and how you can go about this. So that is something that's going to make it feel more manageable for you to actually reach your goal. If you want to know more about it, follow the link in the description box down below, or let me know and I could do a more in-depth video on goal setting, or honestly on any of these topics. I totally forgot that in this video I also wanted to talk about this, which is Vertalis Chapters. So this is a pre-made journal that you can buy. I will have it linked down below. And while preparing for this video and the blog post, I actually remembered that I had this and I went to find it again. And I totally forgot how much I love this journal. So this is basically a journal that combines most of the journaling practices that I have been talking about in this video. I have the Dutch version, so you're gonna have to be okay with the footage in Dutch, but there is also an English version of this book, so I will make sure to link that down below. So in this journal you have for every day the space to talk about how your day went, talk about the day, just the diary style or a stream of consciousness if that's what you prefer. And then it also asks you what went well today, as well as what could have gone better. And it asks you what you are grateful for. Besides that, it also has a ton of inspirational quotes in here, which makes it so nice to use. So every day is going to look slightly different and it's super inspiring to use. I've not used it for 2 years at this point and just started up again yesterday. But I'll be using it for a little bit longer and I might keep you updated in a next video. So I just wanted to share this with you because it's actually a really nice journal to use. And it looks really nice too. And just reading back in this journal what I wrote 2 years ago, it's actually kind of cool to see how far I've come since then, and that I've actually reached some of the goals that I set for myself in this journal. So that was really nice to see, and it's really inspiring me to just keep going and to keep improving. So that's what I wanted to share about Vitalis. So that's it for today's video. If you want to know more about any of these types of journaling, do let me know, because I could actually do a more in-depth video on each of these. But definitely also check out that blog post if you want to dive a little bit deeper yourself, because all of the research that I used for this video and for the blog post are linked in there. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel, which would really help me out. And I will see you in my next video. Bye! Can I see how long it's filming? I don't know. What do I write about? My mind is blank. So Pizza Pot is a zero-waste grocery delivery service. First, I just got a really exciting package in. So the thing that I'm always struggling with